Suppose you are creating a data frame here. Yes. So this is how you are. Now, yesterday we have seen how to read the data from Excel sheet, and even how to read the data from CSV file, right? So you can read the data from various sources, right? So again, I'm trying to read the data from Excel sheet here. So import. So I'm writing pandas. Okay, right? So this is a some employee data frame. So this is employee data frame equal to pandas dot read Excel. So read Excel, and you're trying to read the data from so this book, and from this book I said by default it will load the data from sheet 1. Okay, if you want to read the data from sheet 2, you have to give the name of the sheet. If you don't give the sheet name, then by default, because Excel book will have number of sheets, right? So if you want to read the data from one sheet, default it will load the data from first sheet. Okay, so after that I'm trying to display employee data frame. So this is employee data frame. Yes, Excel SX, right? So this is a data read from Excel sheet. Now from this, I want to select columns. Okay. Suppose I want to read employee name and job. Okay. So what I'm saying is print. I don't want to print all the data. I'll say print employee data frame of. So just give yes column names. Now what is the name of the column here? So what is the column name here? Employee name. Okay. So comma, you can give individually or you can also give as one list. So employee name and one more is which one? Job. So you are trying to read the content of two columns. So this is employee number and this is what here? Job. Sorry, this is employee name and this is a job, right? You can read a list of columns. So employee data frame of, you can define the column list as a list here. I want to read employee name and one more is which one? Job. So this will read now how many columns it is read? Two columns. So this is employee name and this is a job. So you can read individual columns. You can read individual columns. Suppose I want to read salaries of employee. Okay, I want to read salaries of employee. I can say salaries equal to employee data frame of. So the name of the column. What is the name of the column here? Salary, right? The name of the column is a salary here. Okay. So you are trying to read salaries of the employee. Now, once you read one column, it will return that column as a, it will return that column as which type. Okay, individual columns. You can define the individual columns here. Now I say type of salary, but I say no. If you read one column from the data frame, it will return that column as which type series. If you read one column, it will return that column as one series so that you can perform some statistical operations on this column, right? So this is reading only one column. But if you read multiple columns, then it is written as one more data frame. Suppose I'm saying employee data frame. So I want to read a employee number. So I'm giving this as a list here. I want to read employee number. I want to read employee name. And I want to read what here? Salary. So if you read multiple columns, then it will return that as a one more data frame. So if we say print type of data frame one, now you can see this is data frame. If you read multiple columns, then it is written as one new data frame. Now this is a data frame contain how many columns here? 3 columns. So if you are saying data frame one, so this data frame is having how many columns here? 3 columns. So that is employee number, employee name, and one more is what? Salary, right? So if you read one column, then it's written as one series. But if you read multiple columns, then it is written as one more data frame, right? So reading multiple columns from data frame, in order to read multiple columns, the column name must be defined as a list. So it written multiple columns as a data frame and single column it read as what? Series. So that is what I said. Now there is a column addition is there. So adding a new column to the existing data frame. But how can you add a new column to the existing data frame? So the column, how you add a column is the way how you add a value in the dictionary. The way how you are adding a value in the dictionary, in the same way you can add one column. For example, assume that I'm creating a data frame by using dictionary. Okay, assume that there is one dictionary having column one, and these are the values in column one. Okay, so each key is one column, right? So this is a column two, and these are the values in column two, like 10, 20, 30. Now I'm converting this into a data frame. So pandas dot data frame. I'm creating a data frame by using dictionary. So I just write here print data frame. So this data frame is having how many columns here? 2 columns. Now I want to add one more column, data frame of column 3. Column 3 equal to, I just give the list of values. Now these are the values in that column. So if I say data frame, now this data frame is having how many columns? 3 columns. So simple, if you want to add a column, just give the column name. So column 4 equal to, just give the column values. So these are the values which are there in that column. And we say print data frame. And this data frame is having how many columns here? So there is a column 4, number of values. So data frame of column 4, right? So this is a column 4 having how many values? 3 values, right? So this is called as adding column. So adding a new column to the existing data frame, you can do with this particular syntax, right? And you can merge the 2 columns, means you can add the content of 2 columns and you can put in what? Another column. And in the same way, you can also do column deletion. See, this is nothing but same. I say no, data frame is nothing but table. If you want to add a column in the table in SQL, you use a command called which one? Alter. In SQL, what is the command use? Alter table. Using this alter table, you can add a column in the database table. Using this alter table, you can remove the column from database table. Okay, so this is when you're working with what? SQL, right? So that is a structured query language, right? You can add a column by using alter command. You can remove the column, right? See, whatever operations you are doing on the database table, all the operations you can do on what? Data frame. Okay, because you are loading the data from files into a data frame and you perform all aggregate operations, right? So the column deletion is done using delete keyword. It allows to delete. It allows deleting one or more than one column. The column is deleted with column name or column labels. Okay. So how the column is deleted? The column is deleted with a column name or column labels, right? Yeah, same. Why syntax changes here? Why syntax changes? Syntax is same, but there you have to give the complete path. Okay. So the column is deleted with column name or column labels. Suppose you want to delete one column, right? I want to delete one column. I'll say delete data frame of. So what is this here? Column 4. So you are trying to delete column 4. So once you print a data frame, now the column is get what here? Deleted, right? So yes. Now you want, I think you can delete multiple columns. So you can give some column 2. So comma column 3. So we can also delete multiple columns by saying column 2 and column 3. So I think, so this is column 3 is there. Okay. So actually you can delete only one column. So I want to delete a column 3. So delete column 3. So after deleting, I'll just print the data frame. So you can see the column 3 is get what here? Deleted. So this syntax is used for deleting only one column. If you take this is one data frame which contain name of the person, age of the person, name of the person and age of the person. Okay, now if you want to delete a column called name, you just delete it by using a keyword called which one? Delete. And then the way how you are selecting columns and selecting adding columns and removing columns, in the same way you can select the rows and you can add the rows and you can also delete the rows. But how can you select the rows? For selecting rows, there are two functions out there. One is location and one more is iLocation. Means you can read the rows by using index. You can read the rows by using access labels. Okay. So you may give the access labels, right? So you can give the access labels. So you can select the rows either by using index or you can select the rows by using access labels. For example, I'm creating one data frame. Suppose this is person dictionary. Okay, now what this person dictionary is having name, okay, is a key, and this represent a column in the, this represent the column in what data frame. This is a name of the person. Okay, these are the names here, and there is one more column which is called as a age, and this you can call it as age of this persons. So these are called age of this persons. Then I'm creating a person data frame equal to pandas dot. So data frame, I'm creating data frame dictionary. But I say no, in real time, you don't create because data will be loaded from files, database tables. Okay. So that file can be CSV file, that file can be JSON file, that can be text file. So the data can be loaded from different file system. Okay, data can be loaded from different file system. So You don't create it. You load the data from exist. Web scraping is there. That can be that can read the data from web and it organize within one file and load the data. Okay, but here simple we are writing how to create a data frame using what here dictionary. Okay, now this is person data frame. Assume that. So this is having numeric index here. Okay, also you can also give your own index label, access labels, right? Now I'm trying to give the first row as a P1 and second row as what here P2. So third row as what here P3. So first row is a P1, second row is a P2, and third row is what here P3. So it is having two things. So internally it is identified with what index. So that is 0, 1, 2. It is also accessed by using what P1, P2, and one more is what P3. You can access it by using numeric index, right? You can access it by using numeric index. You can also access by using access labels like P1, P2, and what P3. So how can you access it by using numeric index, right? For that, you're using iLocations here. Two methods or two functions are there. One is a location and one more is iLocation. So data frame provide two methods to perform this operation. One is by using location and one more is using iLocation. Location is used to read the rows using what label and iLocation is used to read the rows using what index. So this is using label and this is using what here index. Anything you can use it. One is label and one is using access label and one more is by using what here index. Index also can use it. So anything you can use it. Okay, right? So this is how you do it. Now, suppose I want to read by using index. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to say data frame, person data frame. I want to read the details of first person. So what I'm doing, person data frame dot, I'm using index location of, I just write here what 0. So this is selecting which row here, first row. Okay, this is selecting the first row. Now it is written as one object. So this is written as one object which is called as a record. For example, person data frame dot iLocation of 0. Now EMP1 is an object. EMP1 is an object. And this object is having some properties, right? So what are the properties of this object? EMP1 dot name, comma EMP1 dot, what is this here? Age. So because it is of which type here? Object type. I just taken this as a value. Now you can see what is the name of this person is written. So what is the name? Name P1. EMP1 dot name person 1. So this is an index, right? So P1 and what is the age of this person here? Some 50. What is the value is taken? 50, right? So name. So first column, right? Location 0 is the first column is taken. Yes, name is Naresh and this is what here 50. Right. So you can read individual data. Now location is used. Location is used to read it by using index. If you want to read it by using name, you can use location, LOC. And what is the name of the row here? P1. What is the name of the row here? P1, right? So this is a name, narration 50, and name narration, what is it? 50. Now this is written as what here? Object type. If it is object type, it is having how many attributes? If it is object type, it is having how many attributes? Two attributes. The first attribute is a name, and second attribute is what? Age. So you are reading the value of name and you are reading the value of age, right? So that is iLocation is accessed by using index location, and location is accessing with what? Name of the row. So we are given row names, right? P1, P2. So these are called as access labels, right? So it is having internally index. We start with a 0, 1, like that, right? So this is how you can read it. A row of 0 and row of 1. Okay, right. So this is written as one series, right? Okay, it is written as series. And this is a student data. Now this is by using index location. And slicing is used to read more than one row. Now even you can use a slicing to read more than one row. And how can you read more than one row is with the help of slicing. Suppose employee data frame is there. So pandas dot read Excel. So I try to read the data from some book one dot. So this is the name of the book from where I'm trying to load it. So employee data frame. So this is the employee data frame. I want to read first. I want to read first two rows. So I'll say employee data frame 1 equal to employee data frame of. You can use a slicing. Now this is first two rows. I read it. Okay, employee data frame 1. So this is read first two rows, right? I want to read last two rows. Employee data frame 2 equal to employee data frame of, okay, -2 colon. I want to read last two data rows, then employee data frame 2, and this will return the last two rows here. Okay. I want to read all the rows except the first two rows and last two rows. Then I'll say employee data frame of, okay, 2 colon, what is it? -2. So this will read all the rows except the first two rows and last two rows. Okay, so you can give whatever you know about slicing, you can apply it. Now you can say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But first two rows are not displayed and last two rows are. Okay, so slicing can be done. So slicing can be done. Now this is slicing. Now slicing can be done by using which operator? Slicing operator. Then you can add the row. And how can you add the row? Okay, you can add the row by using append. But when you say append, so it will not add to the same data frame, but it will add and return into a new data frame. Append method is not a mutable, it is a immutable only, because this method will not do the changes within the same data frame, but instead of doing changes in the same data frame, it will return the changes in the new data frame. So after creating data frame, we can add a new row using which method? Append method. So this method will add a row at the end of the data frame and then return that return that into another data frame. So here how you represent the row? You represent this row as another data frame. So whatever rows you want to add, represent that rows. Whatever rows you want to add, represent that rows as what? Another data frame. So here row is represented as a data frame. Okay. For example, okay, now this is employee data frame is it? So now this is employee data frame, which is having how many rows here? 10 rows are there. Okay, 10 rows are there. Now I want to add one more row. So how you represent that another row? Now these are the rows which I want to add it. Then how you represent that rows? You represent that rows as what here? Data frame. Okay, you represent that rows as a data frame. I'm creating this data frame by using dictionary, but each now this is employee number. So here I want to add some two employees. Okay, 11 and 12, comma. Second column is what? Employee name, and I want to add okay, two employee names. Okay, this is employee name. Okay, so next is I want to add like job. There is one more column. So this you can call it as a job here. Some manager is there, and one more is what here? Clerk. So there is one more column is there, and what is that column you have? Salary, and I have to define the salary of two employees. Okay, so I'm trying to add the details of two employees, right? So this is another data frames here. Rows is nothing but another data frame. Yeah, rows is nothing but another data frame. And this data frame I want to append. So whatever rows you want to add, you represent that rows as one more data frame, and then you append it. How you append it? You'll say employee data frame 1 equal to employee data frame dot what is the method? Append. So append employee data frame. Sorry, append what you are trying to append here? Rows. So after adding the rows, it will return this into a new data frame. So the changes will not be done in the same data frame. The changes will be done in what? New data frame. Now you can see 11 and one more is what? 12. But it is giving one warning saying that the data frame dot append method is what? Deprecated. It is saying that don't use this method because this method might be removed from future versions. Instead of using append method, you always do this by using another method called what? Concat. What it is saying is don't use append method because this method might be removed in future versions. Okay, instead of using append, use which method? Concat, right? So that is what you mean by deprecation, and you can see the future warning. So the data frame dot append method is deprecated and will be removed from pandas in future version. So use pandas.concat instead of, okay. So you can go for concat for concatenation or what is that? Append. For concatenation or what is that? Append, right? So this is how you are writing it. So append, you can add one row by using a method called which one? Append. So after creating a data frame, we can add a new row using append method, and this method will add a row at the end of the data frame. Okay, data frame dot append. What you are trying to append here? Row. The next one is deletion of rows here. How can you delete the rows? You can delete the rows by using one function called which one? Drop. So if you want to delete the rows, you can delete the rows by using a method called which one? Drop is it. So using this drop method, using this drop method, you can able to delete. Using this drop method, you can able to delete one row from database table. You can able to delete a row from database table. So delete only one row. And this deleting is done using either row label or what is that index. It row if row. So if row labels are duplicated, then it remove multiple rows. If row labels are duplicated, then it will remove multiple rows. So that can be done by using a function called which one? Drop. Suppose this is a data frame again. I take the same example here. Assume that this is a data frame. So this data frame, so you can use directly print data frame. You don't require to write this every time, right? Once it is loaded, you can use that data frame anywhere in the notebook. You don't require to write in every cell, read. No. Once you read it, this is a global variable. This is working in which mode? Interactive mode. Okay, see, working with the notebooks is nothing but working in which mode? Interactive. Okay, so employee data frame. Now, this employee data frame contain all these columns like employee number, employee name, job, and one more is what? Salary, right? So I want to drop one row, and how can I drop it? But here drop, append, all these are immutable operations. Means the changes are not done in the same data frame. The changes are done in what? New data frame. Okay. So I'm writing here employee data frame 1 equal to employee data frame dot what is the name of this? Drop 0. What is 0? 0 is nothing but index. So it will remove which employee here? First employee. But will it remove from original data frame? No. It will remove and return into what? Another data frame. But original data frame is unchanged, right? So employee data frame 1. So in this employee data frame 1, you can see the first employee get deleted or not. Yes. This first employee get deleted. First employee get deleted. When you say employee data frame dot drop, and you are trying to delete which employee here? First employee, right? So anything you can now say employee data frame 2 equal to employee data frame dot drop. I said here 1. So what is this index here? 1. Okay. What is it? Reindexing is done or not done? Not done, right? So this is employee data frame 2. So this is one more. So one more row is get deleted here. Oh. Okay, it is deleted from that. Here I'll say employee data frame 1. Now again see there's a 2 and 3 and 4 is there. But 1 is get what here? Deleted, right? So but the deletion is not done from the original data frame. The deletion is done and written into one new data frame. So these methods are immutable methods, which are immutable to what? Data frame, right? Because the changes are not done in the same data frame. The changes are done and written into what? New data frame, right? Then there is some more methods are there like head and one more is what? Tail. So head method written first rows. If you want to read first rows, then use which method? Head method. And if you want to read last rows, then you can use which method? Tail method. If you want to read first rows, then use head method. And if you want to read last rows, then you can use which method? Tail method. Two methods are there. One is head and one more is what here? Tail. So how can you do this here, right? Yes. So this can be called as a data frame here, right? So this is a data frame. So this is employee data frame. employee data frame, right? So this employee data frame is having all the rows. Now I want to display first 5 rows. You can generally do that by using slicing. In the place of slicing, you can also use employee data frame dot. You can just use a method called which one? Head. So by default, head returns how many rows here? First 5 rows. So it is written first 5 rows, right? So it is written first 5 rows. And if you want to read last 5 rows, then you can say employee data frame dot. What is the name of this method? Tail. Now this will return last 5 rows here. So this is written first 5 rows, and this is written what your last 5 rows. Okay, so that is done by using head and tail. But you can also supply, for example, using header. If you don't give the number of rows, then it will read how many rows here? 5 rows. But I don't want 5 rows. I want to read how many rows? 2 rows. Then give the rows. How many rows you want to read it? Now it is read how many rows here? 2 rows. Okay, if I say 3, then it will read first 3 rows. I want to read first 3 rows, and then I want to read last 4 rows. I want to read first 3 rows and last 4 rows. Then I said head 3 and tail, what is that? 4. So that will read the first 3 rows and last 4 rows. Now this is first 3 rows and last 4 rows. So that is done by using a methods like head. One method is head and one method is what here? Tail. So you can use this. Head and tail are methods of data frame object, and head returns the first n number of rows and tail returns the last n number of rows. So for that you are using a methods like head and what is that? Tail. But if you don't give the value of n, it will read how many rows here? 5 rows. Now there are some other operations which you can do on the data frame. So what are the other operations you can do is, right? So there are some functions out there. Okay. So let us see what are these functions are there here. See, a lot of functions are there in data frame, right? So I said no, data frame is like data frame is one of the important uh, data structure in what? Pandas. Okay, so data science. Okay, when you're working with data science, data analysis. Okay, how you analyze the data by loading the data into what? Data frame only. And you can perform all statistical operations. You can do all statistical and okay, all the operations you can do it by using which one? Data frame, right? So we'll discuss all this. Even data frame, you can use it, right? So it is used for visualizing the data in the form of, right? So there is a charts out there. Okay, so this is, see, I'm not typing it because this is what I said in the previous class. So typing means again it will take a lot of time. This notes I only, I mean, I explained and copied the screenshots, right? So again, if I want to type means it will take a lot of time. Okay, so that's the reason I'm just explaining it. So don't think that I'm just explaining here, right? Yeah, understood. Yeah, okay. You Suna here, Suna my. I'll upload. I'll upload here. Okay. Okay, right now then see here. So what you can do is, so here we can do some aggregate operations. Okay, there is an operation called which one? Sum is there. So this function return what here? Sum. If you want to return the sum, and you can return the sum by using a function called which one? Sum here, right? So this is a data frame. So what is your data frame here? Employee data frame is there. So if you see the employee data frame having employee number, employee name, job, and one more column is what? Salary. Now I want the total. I want sum of salary, right? Then what you can do is you can simply apply the function called which one? Sum. Suppose if you write employee data frame dot sum means it will try to display the sum of all the columns. Means it will do the total of employee number. It will do the total of employee name. It will do the total of job. It will do the total of what? Salary. It will do the total of all the columns here. Employee numbers are added 55. 1 plus 2 plus 3. Now employee names are concatenated. And jobs are added here again concatenated and salaries are added. But I don't want all this. I want only the sum of salary column. Select the column. Select the column here. Which column here? Salary. So just write employee data frame sum of salary. Now you can see some 2,34,000. You can just display it like print. Okay. So total what is that? Salaries. So you can display the. So this is interactive mode, and I said no, you don't require to use print option. You don't require to use print even without using print. So whatever you write, because this is working in which mode? Interactive mode. In interactive mode, don't use print, right? So you just print total salaries, and this is what 22,34,000 like that. So you don't require to use a print statement when you're working with this Colab or notebook, Jupyter notebook, or this is Colab notebook. This is also notebook, right? What you write in notebook, I said yesterday, what you write in notebook is text, outputs, code. Okay, everything you can write in what? Notebook. You can save this notebook and you can share this notebook across the network, right? Yes. Now this is how you are trying to do it. So there is a function called sum, and you can also have a descriptive statistics. So complete descriptive statistics operations. Then you can just write employee data frame dot. You can just use what here? Describe. Employee data frame dot. You can just use what here? Describe. So this will return. Now this is, I said, descriptive statistics. What it is written here? Count. So this is applied only on numeric. Suppose this is a count. How many rows are there here? 10 rows. Total, how many rows are there? 10 rows. So this is finding the mean. Mean is nothing but now you don't want this on both the columns, but you want this only on which one? Which column here? Salary column. So I just define the column name as what here? Salary. So you can see count. How many employees are there here? 10 employees are there. And what is the mean here? Okay, 23,400. What is the sum? Sum I said some 2,34,000, right? Divided by 10. So that is nothing but average. And this can be called a standard deviation. And this is minimum. What is the minimum salary here? 10,000. What is the maximum salary here? 45,000. What is the 25% of total mean 18,500. 50% is what? 20,500. And 75% is what? 28,750. That is on mean, right? So that is, so total salaries, right? I have total salaries. Total salaries of 25% is what? 18,500. Total salaries 50% is what? Some 20, average it is 20,500, and 75% is what? 28,750. So that is how you can have a descriptive statistics by using one function called which one? Describe, which is written count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, and percentage 25, 50, and one more is what? 75, right? So you have other operations also here. You can also apply your own function on the data frame. You want to apply your own function on the data frame data. You want to apply your own function on data frame data. Then you can apply it by using data frame dot. So there is a function called which one? Apply. Apply it followed by access 0. So apply on access 0. So when you're saying access 0, now what is this access 0 represents here is, okay, so here function to apply to each column, or what is that? Row. Here access define whether you want to apply this function on rows, whether you want to apply these functions on what? Columns. So by default access 0 is nothing but row. By default access 0 is nothing but what here? Row. So where you are saying now 10 plus 100 is what? 110. And 20 plus 200 is what? Sorry. 10 plus 100 is what? Yes. So what you are applying it on each row or column. So that is defined by using a function called apply, or you can use one function called which one? Pipe. So you can use any one of this function. Pipe also you can use it, or you can use a function called which one? Apply. For example, this is a data frame. So having how many columns here? 2 columns. Okay, this is one column and this is another column. Now which function you want to apply? See, there is an access 0 is there and access 1 is there. So access 0 and access 1. Here, let us see with the example. We'll create 2 columns here. So I'm creating a data frame equal to pandas dot. So I just write here data frame. So this is a data frame with, so there is a column 1. I'm creating a data frame using dictionary, right? So this is one column and its content here. And there is one more column, which is column 2. And this is having some 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So this data frame is having how many columns here? 2 columns. Okay. Now I want to apply a function to this column, either any one of these columns, right? How can I apply the function? I can apply the function by using data frame 1 dot. What is the name of the function? Apply. Data frame 1 dot. What is the name of the function? Apply. And what function you want to apply? Just define that function, right? I want to apply a function called square root. So I try to take the square root function from the library called NumPy, because this will provide all numerical operations. Apply. Okay, apply data frame 1 dot apply. Then what is the function you want to apply to the individual elements of which one? Data frame. And what is the name of the function I'm applying? Square root. So data frame 1 dot apply. I just apply the function called square root. Now square root of 1, square root of 10, square root of 2, square root of 20, square root of 3, and square root of 30, and square root of 4, and square root of 40, and square root of 5, and square root of which one? 50. So what is the function applied here? Square root. Now you want to apply, suppose data frame 1 dot apply. I want to apply a function called which one? Sum. I want to apply the function called sum. Then here I'm defining the access. I'm defining the access. See here. I'm defining the access. Access equal to what here? 0. I said access 0, right? Now what is the function apply? Sum. And I said access 0. Access 0 is nothing but column. Now sum of first column is what? 15. And what is the sum of column 2 is what here? 150. That is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And what is the sum of this column? 15. And 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50. And what is the sum of this column here? 150. So access 0 represent what here? Column. You want to apply the function on column. You want to apply the function on row. Then you'll say np.sum access 1. Access 1 is nothing but what here? Row. Access 1 is nothing but what here? Row. So what is the name of this here? Data frame 1 dot apply, right? So access 1 is nothing but row, is nothing but 1. See, 1 plus 10 is what? 11. And 2 plus 20 is what? 22. And 3 plus 30 is what? 33. And 4 plus 40 is what? 44. And 5 plus 50 is what? 55. Now here you are adding the row. 1 plus 10 is 11. And 2 plus 20 is a 22. And 3 plus 30 is a 33. And 4 plus 40 is a 44. And 5 plus 50 is what here? 55. So this is how you are adding. Yes. So that is nothing but access 0. And one more is what? Access 1. Access 0 is what? Column. Access 1 is what? Row. Okay. Access 0 is a column and access 1 is a row. So you can also use the function called apply map. So this is, you are applying this either to the individual elements, or you can apply this on a column, means as a group of values, by defining what access 0 and access 1. But you want to apply only the function to an individual elements, then you can go for which one? Apply map. See, you can apply on row as well as what? Column, like group. But this can be used to apply element wise, right? So apply a function to a data frame element wise. For that, you are using one function called what? Apply map. So this method applies a function that accepts and returns a scalar to every element of a data frame. So it is trying to apply to an individual elements, right? This is used for applying to the individual elements. For example, assume that there is one data frame. So there is one data frame here. So there is a person data frame is there. And this person data frame, I'm just writing pandas dot some data frame. I'm creating a data frame with a name column is there. So which contains some names here. So these are the names here, right? Same thing. What do you do in relational database? Okay, whatever you are doing in relational database table, all the things you can do on data frame. So there is one more column is there, that is age. And this you can call it as which one? Age of the person. So here I created a data frame with how many columns here? 2 columns. So the first column is name and second column is what here? Age. One more. So you have a name and one more is what? Age. Now I want to apply one function called I want to apply one function like I want to display all these names in which case? Uppercase. Okay, then what will I do is I'll say person data frame So column name. What is the column name here? Name. Okay, person data frame. Okay, then I try to apply map. What is the name of the function? Apply map is the name of the function. And which function you want to apply? I want to apply the function called uppercase. Okay, on this column, I'm applying which function here? Uppercase. So this is data frame we have to take. Because see, this is having two columns, right? Two columns means this is integer. On integer, you cannot apply what? Uppercase. Because this apply map is applied to the complete data frame. So I have to take this as a data frame here. So what we'll do is I take only with one column, that is person data frame, apply map, and I just write uppercase. Now these names are in which case here? Uppercase, right? Because it is having integer, right? On integers, you cannot apply which function? Upper. Because apply map is used to apply this function on individual elements, not on a column or what is that? Row. All the elements of which one? Data frame. So if I take one column, if you read one column from data frame, will it return that as a data frame or series? Series. And you cannot use this apply map on which one? Series. You can use this apply map only on data frame. So that's the reason it is given error, right? Okay. So that's the reason take. Okay, right? Yes. There is a data frame dot fill NAs. I said, whenever there is a data missing, right? Missing data will be there. But whenever you do any statistical operations, that missing data has to be replaced. Whenever you do any statistical operations, that missing data has to be replaced with what? That missing data has to be replaced with what? Okay, some values. That missing data has to be replaced with some values. Then how can you replace that missing data with some values, right? So for that, okay, for that, you are using one function called fill NA, right? So fill NA or NAN values using the specified method. Now you can see this is import pandas as PD and this is one. Yes, we created one data frame by using missing values. Okay, now suppose I said no, you can create a data frame by using list also, right? So here I use one list. So this list contain 1, 2, 3. So this is a list which contain 1, 2, 3. And there is a 4, 5, 6. And there is an empty list. And this is having only two values. But which value is missing here? Third value is missing. So data frame equal to data pandas dot data frame by using what here? List 1. So pandas dot data frame by using list 1. So when you print the data frame, now you can see, so Now this NaN, see here, in this last row, which value is missing? Last column value is missing, NaN. And in this, all the values are missing or not? Yes. But I want this missing value should be replaced with some values. Then how can I replace this missing values with some values? By using which one? Fill NA. So there is one function is there called fill NA, but after doing changes, it will return that into one new data frame. So fill NA, it followed by, suppose I want to fill with zeros. So this missing values, I want to fill with what? Zeros. So for that I use fill NA. Now you can see all these values are filled with what here? Zeros. Any value you can do, right? But when some statistical operations are done, they try to fill with some value which is calculated, either you replace these values with either mean value, or you replace these values with what? Maximum value or minimum values, like that. Okay. So that depends on the operation, what you do it. Suppose if I'm writing fill NA1, so what will happen? It will try to replace this missing values with what? 1. It will replace this missing values with what? 1, right? So here missing values are replaced with zeros, but here missing values are replaced with what? 1, right? So for that, you are trying to use a function called which one? Fill NA. Okay. And whenever you delete or whenever you add, so what will happen? The row indexes will not be the same. When you delete it, the index will not be the same. I want to reset the index. Means again, I want the index should start with what? 0. If you delete one row, suppose first row you delete, then what is the index of second row? It should be 0, right? Second row index should be what? 0. But will it that changes are done or not done? Not done. What you have to do after deleting it, you have to reset the indexes so that again it will start from where? 0. Otherwise, after deleting first row, what is the index? After deleting first row, then second row will become what? First row, right? Then what is the index of that row? 1 only. It is not 0. It is what? 1. If you want to reset the index, you can use the method called which one? Reset index. So reset the index or a level of it, reset the index of the data frame and use a default one instead of. If the data frame has multiple indexes, this method can remove one or more levels. Means it will try to remove, okay, duplicate indexes. It will try to remove what here? Duplicate indexes also, right? So that can be done by using reset indexes. So there is a data here, right? Yes. Now this is a data, and you can see that once you delete the data, yes, once you delete the data, what will happen? So the index will not be the reset. Okay. Suppose assume that this is a data which I represented as a list. This is a first row and this is a second row, right? So each list is one row. Okay. That is what we have seen in the last class. Okay. Each list within the list is one row, 7, 8. Okay. Now I'm creating a data frame So pandas dot data frame, and I'm creating a data frame by using which one? Data. So this is a data frame 1. So how many columns are there? 2 columns. Now see, this is column labels, and this is what here? Row labels, right? If you want to give the column labels, just use columns. How many columns are there? 2 columns, that is column 1 and column 2. So this is a first column and this is a second column. So what I'm doing is data frame, okay, data frame 2 equal to data frame 1 dot drop 0. Okay, if I say drop 0, which row will be deleted? First row. But after deleting, it is written into what? Second data frame. But what is the index dot set here? 1, 2, 3. But after deleting this index to be reset or not? Yes. Again, it should start from where? 0. Then how can you reset the index here? You can reset the index by using data frame 1 dot reset index drop equal to which one? True. When you say drop equal to true, then it will drop the previous indexes and create what? New indexes. So I'm saying data frame 2, data frame 2, okay, data frame 2 dot, okay, reset index. What is the name of the method? Reset index. What is the name of the method? Is data frame 2 dot reset index, and then you are saying drop equal to which one? True. So what will happen if you run this? You can see what is the index 0, 1 and 2. But previously what it is 1, 2 and 3. So reset should be done. If you don't do that, then you'll think that, okay, suppose if you delete middle row, so fifth row you delete it, then what will happen? 0, 1, 2, 3. So that next index should be what? 4. But is it 4 will be there? No. Next index will be what? 5. Because we deleted 4, right? So you should reset the index. And how can you reset the index? By using, yes. Okay. So that is done by using this reset, right? Okay. So next is, that is reset index, and data frame dot reindex. Reindex is there. Now reindex. So conform data frame to a new index with the optional filling logic. So places NaN in locations having no value in the previous index. A new object is produced unless the new index is equivalent to the current one and copy equal to which one? False. See here, there are 2 things out there. One is reset index is there, and one more is what? Reindex is there. 2 things are there. One is reset index and one more is what? Reindex. Okay, reset index is there and one more is a reindex is there. What is it? This both are same or different? Different. Okay, this both are not same. This both are what here? Different, right? So reindex, and here labels equal to none and index is equal to what here? None. So what will happen is, see here. Now reindex means now you can customize. You can create a customized index, right? For example, see here, what is the index? Suppose I created one data frame with values, with one column with how many values are there? 5 values. If you print this data frame, now this column is having how many values? 5 values. So that is 0, 1, 2, 3, and yes. But what you're doing is index equal to 1, 4, 6, 7, 8. But actually, there is an index 1 index is there and 4 index is there. But is 6, 7, 8 is there or not there? Not there. Then what will happen? It will create index with what? 6, 7, 8 with the values NEN. Means, is it this index is exist or not exist? Not index. not exist, right? This index is not exist. It means these values are missing or not? Yes. And these missing values are represented with what? NaN. But this will return one new data frame. So what exactly this reindex will do is it will read the data by using the index positions. Suppose here you are given the index as 1 and 4. What is the value at 1? 20. What is the value at 4? 50. But is it any value at 6, 7, 8? Is it any index called 6, 7, 8? No. Then what will happen? It will read, it will create 6, 7, 8. It will create 6, 7, 8 by saying what? Missing value. It will create 6, 7, 8, but with what value? Missing value. So this reindexing can be used reading and creating one data frame. But if any value is missing, then it is replaced with what here? NaN. Okay, that is what exactly reindex is done, right? Then you can read. How can you read the data from data frame? So for that data frame, pandas provide some iterators. For that, pandas provide some iterators, right? Pandas provides some iterators. It will try to provide some iterators. Okay. Now with the help of that iterators, you can iterate the data from where? Data frame. You can iterate data from data frame. Okay, right? So what are the iterators provided by this? I will talk about this, like how to iterate pandas data frame, right? Not today, but tomorrow we'll see this, right? So today we'll stop here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Thank you.